Thank you. Thank you to Mayor Bowser. Thank you to all of our city council members, past and present. And thank you to everyone that has led us here today over the years. As an ANC commissioner for this project, vice chair of the McMillan Advisory Group, a neighbor, a sixth-generation Washingtonian, and most importantly, a dad, I am thrilled to be here today. This park and recreation center now speaks for itself. If you were part of bringing what we see here to life, please take a moment to think about the impact that you've made. And on that note, I'd like to introduce someone who's made an impact in my life, in this project, and a great impact in our community as well. And that's Commissioner Diane Barnes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your back seat. It's wonderful to be here with you today on this momentous occasion for Ward 5 community. My name is Diane Barnes, and I've had the pleasure of serving as the Commissioner of ANC 5C beginning in 2002 through 2006. I stepped down for 3 terms and then came back in 2012 through 2022. I'd like to thank Barry Daniker, who actually served 2 terms, Commissioner James Fournier served 1 term, and of course I'd like to give thanks to Gwendolyn Sutherland because she was my mentor as I was really getting ready for this position. I've moved into the neighborhood in June of 1974, whereas this year marks the 50th year that I've been living in this community. I have dreamed of what these 25 acres could become. Of course, many people thought nothing could ever happen here on this level. But by engaging with the neighbors and bringing the Ward 5 community together, thank you. We made clear that the status quo wasn't going to cut it. We wanted a site that would truly serve the need of the community for a place to live, work, shop, and play, while also preserving the rich history on this site. As with many other big dreams, there were hurdles we had to overcome, but thankful we have a mayor who is eager to listen to us, fight for us, and get big things done. Together, working with the mayor's dedicated professionals, we were finally able to get approval of the revitalization of the McMillan sand filtration site to be redeveloped into the unique recreation center that was desperately needed for this community, but also redeveloped into new housing, retail, medical space, and more. It is indeed a blessing day to celebrate the grand opening of the Reservoir Park Recreation Center. And this is just the beginning. Now, it is my honor to introduce the person responsible for turning our dream into reality, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Please give Commissioner Diane Barnes another big round of applause. Commissioner Rapp, thank you for that introduction. Ward 5, welcome to the beautiful Reservoir Park Recreation Center. You're going to hear from a lot of folks today, so let me be as quick as possible, but there is a lot to say. I first want to recognize at-large council member, former Ward 5 council member, and Reservoir Park neighbor, Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie. Give Kenyon a big round of applause. Your council member for Ward 5, Zachary Parker. Give Zachary a big round of applause. I understand that Councilmember Henderson is here. At-large Councilmember Christina Henderson. Give her a big round of applause. And I want to give a big shout out. The commissioner mentioned it, and we don't have to go over the long history of this project, but I'll summarize it with something that my mom would always say to me. I grew up in North Michigan Park. My mother worked for many years at this hospital complex behind us, so she would pass this site frequently. My father grew up in Ledroit Park, so he has a whole nother perspective of what happens here at McMillan. So what my mother would say is, when are they going to do something with that place? And I would say, well, Mom, the they is me, and we're working on it. And I could say it with a straight face because we were working on it. Part of my charge to my team when you gave me the privilege of being your mayor in 2015 was to unstick stuck projects. And we've been able to do a lot of them, from Walter Reed to St. Elizabeth's, and of course, here at McMillan. And what we learned is working together, we can get things done. We learned that you can have economic development and historic preservation. We learned that you can have commercial use, retail amenities, and a massive amount of park space. And we learned that on our public space, we are going to have public uses, including the beautiful recreation center that you see. For the first time since 1986, this site is back to productive use for the community. We didn't arrive here by accident. It's been a decades-long journey, and I want to acknowledge my team, my big deal team at DMPED, and acknowledge Deputy Mayor Nina Albert. I want to recognize Sarosh Odpatwala and the real estate team at DMPED who really stuck with this to get this project done, which is not only a transformational project for Ward 5, but for all of the District of Columbia. This site represents bringing underutilized land into a beautiful, amenity-rich, productive use. It will create jobs, affordable housing, new amenities, a new green space, and Nina, a new grocery store, because we're working on that every single day. Kenyon to tell you, when we went out to that retail conference, it said, Reservoir District is ripe, and we have to talk to you. Don't talk to us about grocery unless you want to talk to us about your thoughts about coming here. So we're going to keep working and pushing our development partners at EYA, Jair Lynch, and Trammell Crow to deliver on all of the parts of this project. But I think it's fitting. I've been to many a community meeting about this project, and people were very skeptical about the public space existing. So I think it's very fitting that the first places to open here are the public spaces. So today's ribbon cutting continues our success over the last decade of getting vacant land, some of it from the federal government, and transforming it for the benefit of our residents. We're a dense city. We don't have a ton of developable land. So all of the land that we can use, we need to put into play for jobs, housing, entertainment, sports, so that we can deliver for our residents. So I want to thank you again, Ward 5, Stronghold, LeDroit Park, Bloomingdale, the Howard University community for sticking with us. I want to thank you, Councilmember McDuffie, for fighting the good fight for all those years. When people would look at the money we put aside for McMillan and think it was a piggy bank, we had to fight, didn't we? But here we still got to fight, actually. So we're going to work with all the members of the council and with you, Councilmember Parker, to make sure that all of the things that we promise can be delivered. I want to dwell for just 1 second on my great team. I mentioned DMPED, but I also want to mention the Department of General Services, which is the real estate arm of DC government, because this is not an easy project, but DGS will deliver. I also want to recognize the best parks and recreation agency in the nation. And Director Thinny Freeman, we thank you for all that you've done for us as well. And so with that, we're going to hear from our council members, starting with Councilmember McDuffie, Councilmember Parker, followed by my team, Nina Albert, Director Hunter, and Director Freeman. So with that, Councilmember Kenya McDuffie.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to everybody. I am probably the person who had one of the shortest walks to get over to this beautiful park. I was joking with somebody earlier. I think it may have took about 50 steps to get over here to this green. But don't be fooled. I've got a smile that's at least a mile long because this has been a long time coming. And if you know anything about me, you know I grew up right across the street in a house that my grandparents bought back in 1952. And I am the third generation of McDuffies to live there. And my wife, Princess, and my daughters, Casey and Josie, are the fourth generation. Until today, please. But until today, we weren't able to enjoy the 25-acre sitting right across the street. We were forced to look out of our bedroom windows to see the iconic, at the time, state-of-the-art sand filtration site. But because of the persistence, resilience, and dedication of a tremendous community, we are all here today. And so I want to begin with some thanks. I want to thank, and I'm going to leave some folks off the list, so please forgive me, but one of the people who have already spoken today, and that is former Commissioner Diane Barnes. Let's give Diane Barnes a round of applause. She labored to get us here to today. When my wife and I brought the house across the street from my mom back in 2007, one of the first things I did was get back involved in the community over here in Stronghold. And one of the first people I engaged was Commissioner Diane Barnes. There are also a number of people who've been involved well before I was on the council over the 38-year history of the District of Columbia trying to make something happen at this site. You know, people like Tony Norman, who's standing right there. Tony, let's give Tony a round of applause. If you know anything about Tony, we haven't always agreed, but you never had to wonder what was on Tony Norman's mind, because he made sure to tell anybody who was in earshot what he thought about this site. People like Arthur Kincaid, who's my next door neighbor. People like Hallie Burton, Miss Stroman, the Butler family. I see India Luckett is here today. Lisa Butler is here today, but they represent the original Stronghold who has been around for decades, who've been advocating for this site. So shout out to all my Stronghold residents who've been trying to make something happen over here just so they can enjoy this beautiful amenity. And I know there are a lot of people to talk, so I'm going to cut it short because this is not the time for me to wax nostalgic. But it is important to recognize that when I got down to the council in 2012, there are a number of people who were supportive of trying to get something done in McMillan. One of them was then council member for Ward 4, Muriel Bowser. And ever since she got sworn in as mayor on January 2nd, 2015, she has labored, and we have labored together to get to this point, because as she mentioned, the Bowser family, like the McDuffie family, probably thousands of times have gone down North Capitol Street wondering when this city was going to do something with this site. Well, today is the day, June 15th, 2024, that we are doing something with this site. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your commitment and partnership to make this happen. Thank you, Zachary Parker, representing Ward 5. Thank you to all the folks in the mayor's administration, Jills, the folks at Dimphead, who have put in a lot of time, sweat, energy to make us get to this day where we can finally cut a ribbon. And lastly, I just want to say to my daughters, Casey and Josie, can y'all finally leave me alone about this place? Now y'all can come in here, enjoy this pool, enjoy the park, and then have fun right across the street. They were wondering whether it was going to happen in their lifetime. Well, they don't have to wonder anymore, because today is the day. Thank you all. Let's go enjoy the park at the Reservoir. Next is going to be my colleague, Ward 5 Council Member Zachary Park.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I guess it's probably afternoon at this point, but 37 years is a very long time. I am thrilled to be with you. I am Zachary Parker. I have the privilege of representing Ward 5 on the DC Council. I want to echo my colleagues' sentiments and offer my deepest appreciation to Mayor Bowser for getting this beautiful recreation center across the finish line. So let's give it up for her one more time. I also want to thank my predecessor and colleague, Kenya McDuffie, because there were many years where we were navigating the many different perspectives of our community of what we wanted to see here. And today is a manifestation of a lot of years of hard work. So, Councilmember McDuffie, thank you for the work that led to this. Let's give it up for him. Often when we have these ceremonies, the folk that are left out are the grassroots community leaders that put in many hours, that go to forums, that are holding meetings, that are giving feedback. And so I just want to quickly acknowledge the different community groups. I'm going to ask you raise your hand or wave. If anyone is here from the Bloomingdale Civic Association, please raise your hand and let's give them a round of applause. Many years of activity and engagement on this site. For the Stronghold Civic Association, please raise your hand. I see India in the back. ANC 5E, or what is now ANC 5E, raise your hand. I would be remiss not to acknowledge our home ANC, Commissioner Rapp. And as I would be remiss not to acknowledge one of the longest serving ANCs, Commissioner Barnes. Thank you for the many years of service you've given to this community. And to everyone that may not have a title, but care deeply about this site and labored and invested, I just want to offer my appreciations. A few more appreciations I'm going to get out the way. I've heard that we have the nation's #1 ranked park system. Is that right? Is that right? So I want to shout out Director Freeman and DPR for this beautiful addition to the DPR toolkit, which is housed here in Ward 5, and I would like to brag that Ward 5 has the best recreation centers in the city. In addition to Turkey Thicket and Edgewood Rec, we are now adding this one, and there are many others. I also want to acknowledge Director Hunter and DGS. I leaned over and said, was this delivered on time? And he said, not only on time, but in budget. And so that is a big feat, and I want to thank you for your hard work. It takes a community for us to deliver these types of projects, and I am thrilled to continue to fight to ensure that the rest of this development comes online and continues to serve this community. It is an honor to be at the helm of Ward 5 at a time where we have so many projects coming online, from here to the MBT, to Carmel, to Providence, and we are going to get Providence across. I'm looking at the Deputy Mayor. We are going to get that across the finish line, but I look forward to cutting the ribbon and opening up this site. So with that, I want to turn it over to our Deputy Mayor, Nina Albert, who has been a great partner, not only in delivering this site, but making sure that we keep DC as a thriving place for business, but also fun. So with that, Deputy Mayor Albert.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Well, I know that it gets long, but it's really important on projects like this that have lasted over a decade to really take the moment, celebrate it, and appreciate the work that it's taken to get us to this point today. So I'm going to use my time to express gratitude and appreciation. I'm especially proud to be standing here today serving as your Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. I'm proud to serve a mayor who has a relentless commitment to delivering on her promises and for making our city a place that serves our residents and our communities. I'm proud to see an incredible partnership between government and community leaders. From district government, I'd like to acknowledge a huge team of people that spent their time making this project happen. From our DPR teams and DGS, DC Water, Steve Calcutt from the State Historic Preservation Office, Caroline Van Zyl from the Office of the Attorney General, Director Anita Kozart from the Office of Planning, and Jennifer Steingasser from the Office of Planning, and Sarosh Olpadwala, DepEd's former real estate director. I'd also like to acknowledge current ANC Commissioner Kevin Rapp and former ANC Commissioner Diane Barnes, who have been champions for this project. And I'll just say, sometimes it takes a team and somebody taking the baton that they started and led and passing it on to the next so that a project like this can deliver. I'm proud to represent a team at DepEd that works tirelessly every day to move big, complicated, transformational projects from drawing boards and backroom conversations into reality. Specifically, the members from our team who made this project possible include Jen Castor, Jay Surabian, Nichols Malin, Jackie McDonald, and Gilles Stucker. I just want to call out Gilles for a minute. Gilles, where are you? Can you please raise your hand? There he is. Because if you have been involved in this project as a neighbor, as a community leader, as a construction worker, as a developer, as an architect, you know Gilles. He has poured his heart and soul into this development for more than 10 years to ensure that it has moved forward and reflected what the community wanted, and we are seeing that fruit of his labor. I hope everyone reflects particularly on the careful and thoughtful way that this site preserves and celebrates the history of the former sand filtration plant. We were even able to bring back the historic fountain back to life. And this site is a unique example, as the mayor said, of how we can have both economic development and preservation, historic preservation, and a place that's of the community and for the community. This is a great place and an example of the other great places that we want to deliver for the residents of DC. We'll continue to see the benefits of this site evolve as the private development team of the Reservoir District continues to come online. Construction on the EYA townhomes will begin next month, and we expect to see the first of those delivered early next year. So the benefits are still yet to grow and come. So again, thank you to all those who made this project possible. And finally, thank you to Mayor Bowser's mom, who pushed all of us, I would say, because we finally got something done here. With that, I'm going to turn it over to DGS Director Delano Hunter.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Delano Hunter, and I'm proud to serve as the Director of the DC Department of General Services. And I must say, in the District of Columbia at this very moment, there are over 360 active capital projects. So while all are special in their own right, I can truly say this is a one of one. This project, it really is. I haven't seen anything quite like it. I don't think you will. You probably can search around the nation and you won't find anything as special as this with the history. And this is just really a credit to all of the stakeholders that have been named. I won't name them. I think that the council members, the deputy mayor, the mayor, you did a good job of recognizing the sung and the unsung heroes. I just want to thank everyone, but it starts with our mayor. This type of project takes vision, it takes grit, It takes resilience, it takes tenure, and it's no mistake, we're not here by osmosis. It's because of the mayor, because of the council, because of all of the sung and unsung heroes that help make today possible. So give yourselves a hand. Now, I want to spend the remainder of my time thanking folks that may not have been recognized, but are truly the unsung hero. There are folks that have been a part of this project since day one, I believe now close to 9 years ago. Again, I want to thank Jills, it's worth repeating. From the DGS team, I want to thank Harris Saeed, Balahan Williams, who has since retired. I think he's here to come back. We coaxed him out of retirement to come and celebrate this. And also, I want to give a special thank you to Colleen Cahill. If you can raise your hand. Colleen has been a part of the team since day one. We're appreciative of that. And it took an excellent team to build this. If you are a part of the Gilbane construction team, can you raise your hand? Gilbane built this beautiful facility. They're in the back. Thank you. I want to thank Bert Jackson, Deputy Ella Faulkner. I want to thank Millen Golap and also Brad King. Also want to thank the on-site plan team at Matt Bell from Perkins Eastman. Also would like to thank the architects team, the architectural team at Quinn Evans. And also what I'm excited about, that yes, I love the building, but the 6.2 acre park site, right? And everything has been designed with intention. And even if you look at the landscapes and all the number of species, I was walking with our team and we're already plotting how we maintain all of the various species of plants and the like. And I want to thank the team at Roadside Harewell. Also, this has been a catalyst for economic development. So it's also worth highlighting that this project has contributed close to $35 million to certified business enterprises here in the district. In addition to that, also, we have had hundreds of D.C. residents from all 8 wards that have contributed thousands of hours, that have well-earned wages, that is really, really important to us as a part of our economic development. Lastly, what I want to end on is just some of the special features that may not have been highlighted. The first, we have restored the historic Olmsted Walk with exercise stations and a memorial fountain. As you've heard, the fountain dates back to the 1940s. The design team mentioned that it was in I guess a dump yard, maybe in Fort Washington, and we had to extract that from Fort Washington. We restored it to its original beauty. I asked that you take a look at that. Also, the column layouts of the building match the original grid pattern of the sand filtration site layout. If you look at the color elements of the playground, you'll see blues and tans, which bring in a history of this site. If you walk through the site, there'll be a small museum area that highlights the history. So I highlight to say that everything here has been done with intention and it's taken a team. So without further ado, I want to bring up and introduce my partner in fun, and that's the director of the D.C. Department of Parks and Recreation, Director Thenie Freeman.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. So I'm really excited about this for a lot of reasons. Let me start with the thank yous. Thank you, Mayor Muriel Bowser, for your vision and your persistence in ensuring that we do not accept status quo as a leader in your administration. Thank you. Thank you, Council Members McDuffie and Parker. Thank you to the ANC Commissioners Barnes and Rapp. And thank you to DGS. Thank you to DMPED. And thank you to Anita Cozart. She's out here with her children. She may have had to go and do mommy duty, but she's out here from the Office of Planning because this was Deputy Mayor Nina Albert. This was a tremendous effort from all of us, and we are so proud. Thank you to the community, Stronghold, Bloomingdale, 5C, 5E, and all of you all. And of course to the many residents. Can y'all believe we had 1,100 RSVPs for today? And I believe it's more than that. You guys are here, you're there, you're everywhere. You're on the other side, you're in the bouncy house, you're in the cooling station. You're here because this place matters. We are located Center City, and so we have Howard, Trinity, and Catholic, which is no accident that we get to have a space to host all of our residents and our future residents, because we know once they come to DC for school, they don't leave. That is my story. My name is Thenie Freeman, and I am proud to have the privilege to serve as the director of the DC Parks and Recreation. Some of our youngest Washingtonians had an opportunity to preview this space. So we activated what we call the Kids Playground Tester. It started with an event where I was seated beside a 5-year-old in a tuxedo. And I asked the young man, well, where do you work? He said, I don't. I said, but you do. We have a job for you. And so we activated our Kids Playground Testers. We've tested 3 playgrounds that have since opened, and we've had over 100 young people to test our facilities. So give it up. If you see behind me on the big pictures, they're actually working. Inside, if you do the tour, there's an art gallery, and you will see 70 pictures from last week's Kids Playground testing. And they actually found some issues that we were able to work with Gilbane about. That's corrected, and our playground is now kid tested and kid approved. You know they're honest, right? Speaking of honesty, I have to have a courageous conversation with all of our neighbors. Yes, this is a beautiful edifice. We want to keep it that way. Courageous conversation coming right now. Please keep your puppies on a leash. Please keep your puppies on a leash. We want to take care of this good natural amenity that we have, this grass up here, and in order to do so, we have to do so responsibly. Please take advantage, but keep your puppies on a leash. Y'all got that? All right, if you do the walking trail, it's a little over 0.5. So if you go 10 times around, that's 5 miles. Shout out to Ward 5. Stop by and do some exercising right along the trail. Director Hunter talked about the museum that will be here. This site is not just for children, it's for everyone. It's a destination site. We're bringing everyone together, from Bloomingdale to Stronghold to Lee George. I'm going to do it again. If I say your community, yell, please. From Bloomingdale to Stronghold to Lee George Park to Parkview and beyond. 6.2 acres. All right, y'all. So we're building a sustainable future by including charging stations right above for DC government's growing fleet of vehicles. This park and this facility are truly unique in our inventory, and we cannot wait to see it at its best and fullest capacity. Thank you for coming out, but before I go, I want to give you my top 5, shout out to Ward 5, 5 reasons to love Reservoir Park. Accessibility. Okay. Accessibility. History. Green space. Community space. And water. The splash parks are now on. Thank you all. It is time to cut the ribbon. I see the children are delighted to see the water.